Hi friends, today we are going to talk about the topic called fiscal policy. In our syllabus, fourth chapter, money, banking and public finance. Fiscal policy comes under the public finance. So this is the one of the subtopics in chapter 4. So first, what is the public finance? There are two elements in the public finance. One is the fiscal policy, second one is the monetary policy. Public finance is all about studying the role of government in the economy. What the role is government plays in economy. Public finance is subtopic of the economic subject, and it study the role of the government in the economy. In the previous classes, when we talked about the circular flow of the income, we talked about different agencies in the economy. Like household, farms. In this we have agriculture, industry and the service sector all. Then we have the financial institutions like banks and capital markets, other financial, and government. And external sector also, foreign countries. So government is one of the agencies. There is an interaction between the different agencies and the government. For example, if you take the household, people and the government, people will work in the government, they will get the salary. People pay the taxes, and people get the some benefits from the government. They are called transfer payments, pensions, scholarships, unemployment allowances. In the same way, government interacts with the banks also. Government take the loan from the banks, government save its money in the banks, and government interacts with the different sectors of the economy. These people pay the corporate tax, and government gives some subsidies to the different companies. And government buy the goods and services of these firms. So in the economy, government interact with the different players. Public finance is all about study the role of the government in the economy, how the government is influencing the different agencies to get the desired result. So fiscal policy is part of the public finance. What is the other element of the public finance? Monetary policy. So public finance, it's all about the study the role of the government in the economy. It has two tools. One is the fiscal policy, second one is the monetary policy. Monetary policy in the hands of the central bank of the country. In our case, it is the RBI. Monetary policy is all about regulating the inflation, prices of the goods, to keep the inflation within the limits. What are the limits? 4 plus or minus 2 to 6%. This is decided by the Monetary Policy Committee. Fiscal policy is the tool in the hands of the government. That is the Finance Ministry, Government of India. Now we can talk about the fiscal policy in detail. So fiscal policy is the tool in the hands of the government to influence the economic activity to get the desired result. For example, there are high prices of the goods, onions, what the government can do, and there is employment. So to get the desired result, to increase the employment, to decrease the price of the onions, government has to take some action that can be done by fiscal policy. It has different tools or instruments in its hand. By using those tools, government can influence the economic activity to get the desired result. For example, first we can talk about the objectives of the fiscal policy. The two main objectives, one is economic growth along with price stability. This government can achieve these objectives by giving the effects to these objectives through resource allocation to the different sectors and redistribution of the income. Through resource allocation and redistribution of the income. To do that, the main tools in the fiscal policy are two tools. One is government expenditure. Two is taxes. What is the objective of the fiscal policy? Economic growth and price stability. What are the tools in the fiscal policy? Government expenditure and the taxes. These are the tools. Through these tools, it can do the resource allocation. Resource allocation means government can spend the money in different sectors to get the desired result. That is called the resource allocation. For example, the literacy rate of the India 74%. Government wants to increase to 100%. Then it has to allocate the resources in that sector, education sector. It has to establish the more schools and recruit the more teachers. Then it has to provide the different facilities to the children to come to the school, like food, clothing, books, etc. So government must have money for that. How will it get the money? Taxes from the people and the company. For example, from the people it will get the income tax. From the companies it get the corporate tax, and other indirect tax are there. By taxes, it redistribute the income. Redistribution means taking the money from people who are earning and spending on public goods like education, health, defense. So it is a fair distribution of the income. This government expenditure and its taxes, that is revenue, can be studied in detail, and what is the different kind of expenditures, what are the different kind of the revenues, and we can study the different terminology, something like deficit, revenue deficit, fiscal deficit, primary deficit, how government does finance the deficit. We can study in detail now. First, expenditure, then receipts. There are two types of the expenditures. One is the capital expenditure, second one is the revenue expenditure. First we can talk about the capital expenditure. capital expenditure, any kind of expenditure for the long term benefits, for creating any assets which are useful for the long term. Take the building the roads, establishing the schools and hospitals, flyovers, that is comes under the capital expenditure. Whereas the revenue expenditure, it includes the day-to-day expenditure for running the government, salaries to the members of parliament, salaries to the members of legislative assembly, and salaries to the government employees and the pensions. So this is the revenue expenditure. It does not create any kind of the assets, physical assets or the financial assets. So that is the main difference between the capital expenditure and the revenue expenditure. As far as the definition of this capital expenditure, in economic terms, there is no definition like, for creating the long-term benefits. As for the Income Tax Act, capital expenditure is the expenditure which is incurred for creating any assets which is long-lasting for more than 3 years. More than 3 years. Expenditure for creating any assets which long last for more than 3 years, then it is called the capital expenditure as per the Income Tax Act. Then receipts. This is all about the expenditure side. For doing the expenditure, we need money, isn't it? At home also, mother will do that expenditure, buy everything what we need and cook food and everything. But father, or in some cases, mothers also work and they will get the salary. So money is important. That is, we will get in the receipts. There are two kinds. One is the capital receipts. Second one is the revenue receipts. So what is the capital receipt and what is the revenue receipt? Capital receipt is receipt which create a liability. For example, we have taken the loan. It is a kind of the liability. At the end of the day, we have to pay back it and we have to give the interest. That is the capital receipt. Revenue receipt. It is not any liability. Once you pay it to the government, you cannot reclaim it. You cannot take it back. So that is a revenue receipt. In revenue receipt, we have further tax revenue and the non-tax revenue. In tax revenue, we have any direct tax and indirect tax. So it is expenditure side, capital expenditure, revenue expenditure for creating the long-term benefits like roads, schools and hospitals, bridges. Revenue expenditure for day-to-day expenditure for running the government, giving the salaries to the members of parliament and assembly. And receipts, capital receipts, it creates a liability, taking the loans, and that is a liability. Revenue receipts, it is not creating any liability. Once you pay it to the government, revenue receipts, you cannot take it back. For example, taxes, you cannot reclaim it. And fines you are paying, drive the bike beyond the speed limit, then traffic constable cut the chalana. So that you cannot you cannot reclaim from the government. So capital receipts and revenue receipts, that is the main difference. Now we can talk about the budget terms. So this is all about, at the end of the day, government receive the money and do the expenditure. If the receipts are equal to the expenditure money, then it is called the balanced budget. In balanced budget, all the receipts are equal to the expenditure. We have no need to borrow any money. And the second one is the surplus budget. Here, receipts are higher than the expenditure. We receive more money. For example, we receive 100 crores. Expenditure is only 90 crores. Then it is the surplus budget. Then deficit budget. There is shortfall. Here, expenditure is higher than the revenue. Like there is an expenditure of 190 crore. Revenue only 150. Remaining 40 crore we have to take the loan. So balanced budget, surplus budget and the deficit budget. In our central government, state governments, we have the deficit budget. We need more money than our receipts. That's why we borrow the money from the different organizations. Like the other countries, like Japan, we have taken the loan for bullet train project. We have taken the loans from the World Bank for the different schemes. So now, then we can talk about the different deficits. Before that, we can take some examples. What is comes under the capital expenditure? What comes under the revenue expenditure? We can discuss with examples. For example, Indian government is there. Indian government given the loan to Bangladesh? We have given loan. We have taken loan from the Japan. So we need to pay the interest here. And we will get the interest here. Now we can talk about the loan given to the Bangladesh comes under which expenditure? The loan taken from the Japan comes under which receipt? The interest we are getting from the Bangladesh comes under which receipt? And the interest we are paying comes under the which expenditure? Okay, first we can talk about the loan taken from the Japan. So it created liability, financial liability. Isn't it? We have to pay back the loan to the Japan, we have to pay the interest also. So it created the liability. So it is the capital receipt. Capital receipt is something which creates the liability, financial liability. Now we have given loan to the Bangladesh. That is the expenditure part. We have to do the expenditure. So we have given loan. Assume that we have given the 1,000 crore loan. It comes under the expenditure. Capital expenditure or revenue, which is it is asset actually, financial asset, not the physical asset. That 100 crores we will get back one day, and along with that we will get the interest also. So it comes under the capital expenditure, which is creating the anything which is creating the asset comes under the capital expenditure. That is creating the financial asset. Okay. So loan we have given comes under the capital expenditure, and the loan we have taken comes under the capital receipt. Now we will pay the interest to the Japan because we have taken the loan. So that is the expenditure. We have to pay the money. So is it creating the capital or the capital expenditure or the revenue expenditure? Is it creating the asset? Paying the interest, creating any asset? No. No capital, no physical asset is creating here, and no financial asset is creating here. So that's why it comes under the revenue expenditure. So the interest we are paying on the loan comes under the revenue expenditure. Now we are getting the interest from the Bangladesh. We are receiving the interest. Is it coming under the capital receipt or the revenue receipt? It is creating any kind of the liability? No, it is not creating any. No liability is there. We are getting interest. So we have no need to pay back. So then it comes under the revenue receipt. In the revenue receipt, tax and the non-tax. Is it tax paid by the Bangladesh government to the Indian government? No, it's not the tax. So then it comes under the non-tax. So interest we are receiving from the Bangladesh comes under the revenue receipt because they cannot reclaim it. They cannot ask it for the back because they have taken the loan from India 1,000 crore. For that service they are paying the interest. So it is not creating any liability for us. So that's why it is not coming under the capital receipt. They cannot reclaim from us because it is a service we have provided 1,000 crore loan. So they are paying the interest as a interest for our service. So it comes under the revenue receipt. We must be very clear about what is the capital expenditure, what is the revenue expenditure, what is the capital receipt, and what is the revenue receipt. Because in exam they will ask something like that. We are paying interest to the Japan government for taking the loan, which comes under what? Capital expenditure, revenue expenditure, capital receipts, or the revenue receipt. That is a question like that. So you have to understand it completely. So we have discussed about the expenditure, types of expenditure, receipts, types of receipts, and types of budgets. Balanced budget, surplus, and the deficit budget. Now, as I said earlier, Government of India and Government of Andhra Pradesh are the deficits. They are taking the loans from the other countries and other institutions to finance their deficit. Now we can discuss about the different deficits. First one is the revenue deficit. Deficit already we have discussed it. When expenditure is more than the receipt, then it is called the deficit. Revenue deficit, when the revenue expenditure is greater than revenue receipt. So difference between the revenue expenditure and revenue receipt is called revenue deficit. Difference between the revenue expenditure and the revenue receipt is called the revenue deficit. Then can we say something like difference between the capital expenditure and the capital receipt is called the capital deficit? No, there is no term called the capital deficit. We should not call. So there is another term called fiscal deficit. This is very important. It is indicating the health of the economy, health of the government, financial health of the government. Fiscal deficit. Difference between the total expenditure minus total receipts except borrowing. Total expenditure. What is total expenditure? Total expenditure is equal to capital expenditure plus revenue expenditure. Total receipts is equal to capital receipts plus revenue receipts. So here except borrowing, we can take the all the receipts except the borrowings. So what is the significance of the fiscal deficit? Fiscal deficit indicating the borrowing needs of the government. How much government has to borrow in that financial year to deficit financing. For example, receipts, they have received 150 crore. Expenditure is 180 crore. 30 crore is required for making the budget. This is the borrowing requirements. This is indicated by the fiscal deficit. Fiscal deficit is difference between the total expenditure and the total receipts except the borrowings. Then we have another deficit called the primary deficit. This is not a new term. It is just addition to the primary deficit. Primary deficit minus borrowing for interest payments. We take the loans for different purpose, for revenue expenditure, for the capital expenditure. Already government has the loans, they have to pay the interest. So primary deficit is talking about borrowing for interest payments have to be excluded. Why? So it is talking about the borrowing requirements for the particular financial year. For example, 1920, we need 30 crore. We need to borrow. In the 30 crore, 20 crore for capital expenditure, 10 crore for paying the interest to the debt. Already government has the 200 crore or 300 crore debt. So government has to pay the interest of the 100 crore. So this loan is, this 10 crore is not for this financial year. This is for paying the interest to the loans already taken in the past. So primary deficit, it is indicating that borrowing requirement of this financial year only, not for the past debt requirements. So that is the main difference between the fiscal deficit and the primary deficit. Primary deficit is talking about borrowing requirements of the total borrowing requirements of the government. Fiscal deficit is talking about the borrowing requirements for this financial year expenditure by excluding the borrowings which are for paying the interest to the past loans. So we have discussed about the fiscal policy through its tools, expenditure and taxes, that is receipts. Different kinds of the expenditure: capital expenditure, revenue receipts, capital receipts, revenue receipts, and budgeting. Different types of the budgets: balanced budget when the expenditure is equal to the receipts; surplus budget when receipts are greater than the expenditure; deficit budget when expenditure is greater than the receipt. Then in deficit, what are the different types of the deficits we have? We talked about revenue deficit, fiscal deficit, primary deficit. Revenue deficit is talking about revenue expenditure is greater than revenue receipts. Expenditure is more. When the expenditure is more, we need to take the loans. So this difference is revenue deficit. For example, expenditure is 100 crores, revenue receipts are 90. Then revenue deficit is 10 crore. Then fiscal. Total expenditure. Total expenditure means capital expenditure plus revenue expenditure minus total receipts. Total receipts. Capital receipts plus revenue receipts. This one, except borrowings. We have to exclude the money we are borrowing. So fiscal deficit is to know the borrowing requirements of the government for this financial year. Total borrowing requirements. Primary deficit is fiscal deficit minus borrowing for interest payments, because out of the total borrowings, assume that 30 crore, only 20 crore you are spending in this financial year 19 and 20. Remaining 10 crore you are using for paying the interest to the loans taken in the past. So primary deficit is talking about the borrowing requirements for this financial year, not the total borrowing requirements. Fiscal deficit is talking about the total borrowing requirements. Whatever the purpose you use it, you have taken the money, you have borrowed the money. This is the total borrowing you have made in this financial year, 30 crore. So total borrowing requirement is, we come to know by the fiscal deficit, borrowing requirements used in this financial year, not for the paying interest to the loans taken in the past. That is explained by the primary deficit. These terms are very important to understand the budget speech. Capital expenditure is good actually because it is creating the assets. Revenue expenditure for the day-to-day expenditure, it is not creating the any assets, whether financial or the physical. So that's why revenue deficit is there, means revenue deficit means we are borrowing for day-to-day expenditure also, apart from the capital expenditure, apart from the investment and creating some financial and the physical assets like building schools and the hospitals and the flyovers and the trains. We are borrowing for the revenue expenditure, for day-to-day expenditure also. So it is a kind of a bad sign. Revenue deficit must be very less or must be zero. Revenue surplus is good. Then fiscal deficit. Fiscal deficit talking about the total borrowing requirements. So if fiscal deficit is very high, that means we have to borrow a lot of money. That is very difficult, I mean very problematic. What will happen if you have a lot of debt? If you keep on borrowing the money, for example, if you have the 100 crore debt already, next year you are borrowing 120. So it is something like the Andhra Pradesh government situation, like 1,20,000 crore debt we used to have when we separated in 2014. Now it is by 2019 it is reached almost like 2,80,000. I mean 1,60,000 crore in 5 years. So that's why we have to keep the fiscal deficit within the limit. We have to do the expenditure very carefully. We have to concentrate more on creating the physical assets and the financial assets. We have to try to reduce the revenue expenditure which is not creating any assets. This is all about the different expenditures, different receipts, types of budgets, types of deficits.